Hi guys, in this video I'm going to show you how to make this beautiful lemon tart with this gorgeous buttery biscuity pastry and a beautiful sweet yet tangy filling. So start off by making the pastry. I'm making twice as much as I need so I can freeze half of it for later. So do this by adding 140 grams of caster sugar to 500 grams of plain flour. Give it a gentle mix with a whisk before you add 250 grams of unsalted butter, chilled and cubed. Now squeeze the butter between your fingers until the flour resembles wet sand and is kind of crumbly. This is so much easier to do with a food processor if you have one, especially when making such large quantities. When eventually the flour is looking about right, go ahead and add in 4 egg yolks. Now you should mix this in lightly with a fork before you bring it all together with your hands. But because I'm trying to save the wash up, I'm just going to use my hands now. This too will take a while, but if you think the dough is looking too dry, you can add in a tablespoon or 2 of cold water. I didn't though. Now this is what you're looking for, the dough to come together in one big piece that will be pliable and shapeable. Now take that big lump of dough and cut it in half and wrap one half in cling film and store it in the freezer until the next time you make a pie. Now take your other half of pastry and flatten it out into a flat disc shape and wrap that in cling film as well, and then store it in the fridge for a half an hour to an hour so that it'll firm up. Next, take 3 lemons and go ahead and zest them. I'm using a microplane grater for this because any coarser grater will grate an awful lot of the pith off as well, which you don't want, it's horrible. Once that's done, set it aside while you go ahead and juice those now naked looking lemons. I'm using the juicer attachment of my food processor because I'd be forever doing this by hand, and you get a really good result by doing it electrically as well. These are quite small lemons that I have today, so I am going to juice a 4th one as well. Now take that juice to make the filling for the tart. Do this by adding 5 eggs to a large bowl and add 150 milliliters of double cream. Add the lemon juice followed by 140 grams of caster sugar. Then with a whisk, mix it all up until it's all nice and combined and you can feel that the sugar has all dissolved. Now you're going to want to pass that mixture through a fine sieve to catch any lemon bits or any bits of unmixed in egg. You might need to give it a little bit of a help with the sieve. Now add the zest from earlier, whisk it up to combine and set aside. Now lightly flour your work surface and turn out your now firm disc of pastry. And roll it out so that it's about 1/4 inch thick. This is going into an 8-inch pie dish, so make sure that it's definitely wider than that. Lift it in with your rolling pin and then with a piece of spare pastry, press the pastry into all the flutes of the pie dish. Make sure you repair any breaks or cracks in the pastry as well. You want this to hold the filling. Now put it back in the fridge for another half an hour to firm up. A half an hour later, place it on a baking tray, and I'm going to leave the excess pastry hanging over until after I blind bake it. To blind bake it, just line it with some tin foil and then fill it with these baking beads. If you don't have these baking beads, you can use dried beans or rice. Now bake at 170 degrees Celsius for 10 minutes. 10 minutes later, take it out, remove the baking beads and the tin foil and return it to the oven for another 20 minutes until it's just starting to colour and looking a bit biscuity. When it's ready, take it out of the oven and with a sharp knife remove the excess pastry hanging over the sides. Next, you're going to fill the pastry case with the lemon filling and very gently transfer it back to the oven. It might actually be a good idea to transfer it to the oven and then fill it, because if you spill any bit of that filling over the sides, it's going to cause the pastry to really stick to the case. So bake again for another 30 to 35 minutes until it's set. Then take it out and let it cool completely before you serve. This really was so sweet and sharp and delicious. And I paired it with this strawberry ice cream. I'll give you the recipe for that in the description below. Thanks a million for watching, guys. I really hope you liked this recipe. If you did, hit the like button below and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And you can let me know on social media how you get on if you try this recipe yourself. All the links to my accounts are in the description below as well, as is the link to the full recipe on my blog, www.rookiecook.org.